On January 22nd, 1929, the New York Yankees made a huge decision that forever changed the game of baseball and sports around the world. They decided to put numbers on the back of their uniforms. Seems like a small moment, but try to think about all the sports we watch. If players didn't have numbers, how odd would that be? We dive into the history of jerseys today on Daily Sports History. Welcome to Daily Sports History. I'm Ethan Reese, your guide to a quick deep dive every day into sports history. One thing we often don't think about, but has forever changed the game, is the sports uniform. As most of us are fans of multiple teams, we have some memorabilia that we wear to support our teams, whether at the game, watching on TV, or just going around our daily lives. We support our teams by what we wear. The question is, how did the uniforms start? How did they become what we all know today? To know more about this, we have to go all the way back to the ancient city of Olympia, Greece, where the Olympics were born. But these were no ordinary sports uniforms. As we step back in time, these athletes were running for the glory of the gods. Men, virginal women, clothed in nothing but determination and race for glory. Yes, these athletes were naked, would make sports very different today. But lots of things have changed since the ancient Olympics. We go all the way to the modern Olympics in 1869. Now the track and field uniforms were lightweight, but covered everything they needed. The true origins of all the jerseys we wear, from baseball to football, basketball, soccer, and any other sport, is a true evolution of the game. It has never been consistent. It grows as the popularity grows. In baseball, it began where they just wore whatever they were wearing, and as players began to slip, they created cleats. As their pants began to get caught, they began to roll them up under their socks and wear loose jerseys so they could have full motion, and wear loose shirts so they would have full motion to throw the ball. And one big change was the Yankees in 1929, on January 22nd, made the decision to change their uniforms and put numbers on the back. This is very common today to identify the players on the field for statisticians and fans alike. But at the time, it was unusual. And the reason they did this, and it wasn't like today where you got to pick your number. It was the batting order that day. So Babe Ruth, wearing the famous number 3, is due to him batting third in the lineup. And this was common practice for other teams to adopt, as it made it easy to identify the players, as you would not always be able to see their face, but you could see the number on their jersey. And it took all the way till 1960, when the White Sox put names on the back of their jerseys to identify the players even more. And we look at other sports, such as basketball. And basketball was created in a gym at a YMCA, so they were wearing traditional gym clothes at the time, which did consist of shorts and a t-shirt. But the same as in baseball, the play of the game dictated what they wore. Their arms were moved a lot, and running into multiple players, you do not want loose-forming uniforms. So that's why they have more of a sleeveless design, so they can move their arms completely free, and are more form-fitting than baseball uniforms, as they are in contact with players multiple times a game. And shorts were common due to the amount of movement and running involved. Over time, they developed synthetic materials to make it more breathable for the athletes. And the Harlem Globetrotters were very keen in adapting the uniforms. They even put numbers on their jerseys before the Yankees did in 1916. And in hockey, they developed their jerseys, again, due to the sport. Their jerseys are called sweaters because they represent a sweater that was often worn at the beginning of hockey's creation because it was played on ice, outdoors, where it's very cold. Football was very similar to baseball, as their pants were hiked up due to getting stepped on while running and getting wet or weighed down with the wetness of the grass, and had to be created bigger as they added more pads to the game, but form-fitting as to not get tackled or have someone grab their jerseys, as we still see to this day. And today, technology is used in almost all sports apparel, whether it's the fabric, things included in the fabric, such as tracking devices, being tailor-made to athletes, and of course, being a high merchandise seller. Without uniforms, we wouldn't know what team to root for. We wouldn't be able to support our team. It would change how we view sports today. We may not know exactly how everything got invented, but we can narrow it down to helping the sport improve every day and help us support our teams as well. Thank you for listening to today's Daily Sports History. If you want to see photos of today's episode, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to see a video, you can go on Twitter. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. And come back tomorrow for more Daily Sports History.